All right. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a couple days. Seems weird to not stream for a couple days, but I'm ready to go today. Got my coffee as usual. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for following the channel. The channel's been growing. It's been great. Just plugging away. Just a quick update on the portfolio. No new purchases into the TFSA in the last couple of days. I know I haven't posted a couple of videos for the past couple of days. I was doing a lot of running around, saw my mom, and I get paydays on Friday, so probably will hopefully pick up something now. If anybody's here, we got a few people watching. Say hi. Make sure you say hi. Check in. It's great to have you here. And I've looked at the market a little bit this morning. Not bad. I think it started off, not looking the greatest, but it looks like everything's kind of rebounding a little bit today. So hopefully maybe you had a chance to maybe buy a little bit of the dip, I guess, this morning. But again, we could be waiting 20 minutes and everything will change as it seems to happen. So just let me know what's going on. Nothing in particular is scheduled to discuss today. Other than a bit of news, I mean, it popped up this morning that the UK, the new UK Prime Minister has resigned already. I think it was 44 days. So that's, I don't know if that's a new record or not, but that's interesting over there. Definitely, I think I don't even know what to say about that. I guess that wasn't working out for them. So they'll have to have another leadership vote. I guess that's how it works over there, much like here. And yeah, moving on, I guess, as that. One thing I did pull up, and I will, I gotta find the news now. I was excited today because checking out on Yahoo Finance, where I always do, is I saw the trending ticker of T, and I thought, oh, Telus, something's happening. I clicked it and I looked at it quickly, and I'll just basically pull it up here so you can see. I think I got excited for nothing. But what I did is, here, let's pull up the screen. I saw this trending on Yahoo. Let's add this so you can see. I saw Telus trending. So on the very top in the search bar, you can see what things that are trending, and it shows basically T. And so I clicked and I looked quickly. And I'm like 8.59%. I thought, oh, Telus is doing great today, and then I realized it was AT&T in the States. So don't own any AT&T, unfortunately. But if you do in your portfolio, it's a decent day. I don't know what caused it to spike up. Obviously, probably earnings are out. Yeah, there we go. Third quarter results. So I'm going to guess that's why the big jump with AT&T on there. But unfortunately, not Telus on that. So we have to wait for Telus for earnings. Another one is and I know I've been looking at it for a long time, is Tesla. Obviously, their stock is down a little bit today. So I think I'm like, oh, I wish payday was today for Telus, or sorry, for Tesla, but I still want to add that to my portfolio. And I've been looking at I guess it's the CDRs. Let me know if anybody in the comments has any of the CDRs of any of the US stocks. That's probably what I'll go that route. The price point is a little bit better, and I don't have the US dollar account set up yet. So let me know your thoughts on that. Whether I do that, or maybe I look at doing a fractional purchase. But yeah, so good morning everybody that's here. I'm still getting my coffee, still waking up. 8 o'clock always seems to come sooner in the winter because it's still dark. Like it's not winter yet, but in the fall time it seems to come. It seems earlier when it's still dark out in the autumn. But on the west coast here, we've had a pretty good autumn. We're actually like in a drought right now, unfortunately. There was actually been some forest fires coming up from the States, so it's been really smoky outside. And yeah, so that's not good. But I think we're supposed to get some rain this weekend on the weather. So, and let's see some other news we had. So yeah, we're looking good today. I didn't really check into things yesterday, so that's the only thing. But it looks like I'm just going to check through my portfolio actually, and it looks like everything's except. And I do want to add more of the Brookfield. Brookfield's still down, so I think it might be some opportunity there. Brookfield Renewables, to purchase that. I have to think about what I'm going to deposit tomorrow to do it. So let me know if you have any suggestions for that. Would be great. I will do a small deposit on there tomorrow. Is the plan. So we'll see. And there was good news. We were talking about this. I'll pull this up. We were talking about Netflix on a couple of last live streams. They are obviously starting to with Netflix. They're going to start their discounted plan to show ads, and that's been good for their share price. And then they did have their earnings, and they beat earnings and subscriber growth. So that's good if you own Netflix. And then also too, I'm guessing, I was reading an article this morning on them, and they're going to start cracking down on password sharing, which will get them more revenue. So if you're not sure what that means, it's like if you have, obviously in your account, you can have a certain number of users logged in and watching Netflix at the same time. And I think the price will depend on what you can do. But what people would be doing was, it's supposed to, I think, be only shared within the same household. So I guess they're going to crack down if they notice that people are logged in to different addresses and stuff, IP addresses, figuring that they're sharing Netflix passwords when they shouldn't be for logins, which, I mean, it is kind of, I don't know whether it's, I mean, if you're paying for a license for an X number of users, you should be fine. But I guess they want to maybe make it so if you are sharing it to too many locations, they'll kind of say, hey, you have to upgrade your account for more licenses. So we'll see how that works for Netflix. Oh, and I always mention coffee, and we mentioned deal like with the prices of everything. And Amazon had my favorite coffee on sale, so it was a good morning this morning. I check it every morning when I think I'm going to need coffee, and it was on sale today. So it goes sometimes down. I buy the Kicking Horse coffee, and it goes down sometimes to like $10.99 for a pound, which is a really good price. Sometimes I've seen it $9.99, not for a while, but so it was like $16 last week. So I just watched it. It went to 13, then it went back to 16, and then today it was $10. So I guess they must have to wait and find if they have, if the stock sits too long. I'm going to guess that's why they lower the price. So I picked up coffee. Happy about that, to save some money on coffee. And I guess yesterday, because we missed it on the live stream, Canada. I mean, I guess some good. I mean, it's still high, but I guess some good news. Like Canada's CPI came in less, which is good, I guess, but probably not as it's still probably more elevated than I guess they wanted to be. So I guess we're going to have interest rates coming up. October 26th, I believe, is the date for the Bank of Canada announcement, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of basically kind of saying it's all kind of ready to go, with inflation up. I think it was 6.9% year over year for the month of September. Can't believe it's October already, which is crazy. But it just seems to be coming down. I didn't notice because I was doing a bunch of driving the last couple of days, and the price of gas is a lot cheaper. So that's nice. I mean, it's still expensive, but when you see it under $2 a gallon, I mean, the West Coast here, when you see it under $2 a liter, it's actually pretty good. So I was able to get some more, fill up with gas a little bit, because I remember back in the summer it was what, $2.25 a liter or something like that. So that's always nice. So if anybody has any questions, comments, let me know. Drop it. At least say hi in the comments. It's always nice to see who's watching. We do have some of the regulars. Maybe they're out trading right now. I know Candace usually tunes in at one point, but she's probably busy on the market. If she's not here, it's usually because she is busy. But that's okay. If you don't catch it live, you can always catch up during the replay, which gets posted on the channel for that. So on that note, for anybody that is watching the replays, if you are, depending when you're watching it, it does take YouTube a while to process it, and you won't necessarily see all the comments right away. But usually those comments will be back. The comments that get posted will be back in usually it takes about a day to kind of come back. You can see the live comments. Now, that being said, I do put them on the screen, the ones that come in, but with the YouTube actual live chat to know what's happening takes a little bit of processing time. So just something to be aware of if you are catching the replay. And just an update on the channel, been sharing stuff. So I'll do another portfolio update later. Tried to do it later on today. Still catching up a little bit from work because I was away for a couple days. But I will try and do an update later today because it's been some changes definitely with the market, no new purchases, but there's been some changes in the portfolio. I checked it this morning. It was over that $10,000 mark, which is nice to see. It's always kind of a mental, even though it's down, it's always kind of a nice mental, good mental bonus when you're looking at it, which is nice. So I will do that. And then if you have been following along with the Wealthsimple venture fund, I have nothing new to report on that one other than it is starting. They're going to be locking it on November 25th. So if you're part of that, you would have had an email from them mentioning that, but just to kind of update everybody. And there has been a few people that have been following those videos on the channel that have found the channel through that. So if you are in that, let me know in the comments as well. I'll basically keep posting as it goes and see how that carries forward. Yeah. And in terms of tomorrow's purchases, like I've been saying, I want to keep adding to VDY, so it's probably going to be a VDY purchase, and maybe into the other ETF VFV, but probably VDY because I want to kind of try and build that up while the price is down a little bit and the dividends are nice. So that's kind of the goal. No other new purchases other than having my eye on Tesla, but I haven't pulled that trigger yet on there. But yeah, it's just plugging away. I guess that the market is still a lot of up and down every day. So it's just kind of slow and steady. I'm not really looking to make any huge big jumps into anything. The biggest thing you kind of notice, obviously everything's more expensive and everything, just slow and steady. That's kind of the goal. And I think a lot of the people that have been following along are doing the same thing. They haven't made any selling anything, or they're just carrying on. It seems the people that are in the channel and all the comments I think we're all diehards, and we're looking forward to when this does turn around. Whether I mean, the big thing is the reset. The talk of recession, but I think we're probably kind of already there and we'll look back at it in hindsight and going, we were in a recession before it was kind of, officially announced. I don't know if they've officially announced it yet, but it kind of feels like it. So I think we're going to be in for a bit of pain for a while, and hopefully in 2023 things start to turn around. Hopefully interest rate increases slow down. I don't think they will for the short term anyways, but I think we'll maybe hopefully see a bit of a pause by the new year on rate increases. Now that it seems like inflation is starting to slowly come down, but the rate increases have been pretty fast and hard. So I don't think they want to stop that too soon on anything, but we'll see. Nobody's talking today. That's everybody must still be half asleep on the chat, which are not joining in. I'm still kind of waking up too, so I don't blame you. I'm wondering too with the timing if people would be interested. Like, I'm up early. I'm such an early bird, and I'm always up before the market opens. And I wonder if we should jump on. I'm just thinking timing. I usually do 8 and 9, kind of. That's before I have to start work. It works out well, but I am always up early. I wonder if we do, like, even if it's one day a week, maybe try and do an earlier one. I know for the West Coast, I think most people that view the channel are more East Coast. I could be wrong. There's a few people that do tune in from the West Coast, but it's still early in the morning here, right? 8 o'clock. So I'm wondering if people want to jump on and do like a before the market opens kind of thing. That's always fun. I do watch a couple other live streams sometimes in the morning on market stuff. Not to steal any, like we're not thinking of stealing their thunder by any means with our little channel, but it might be fun to kind of do that, to kind of see what kind of happens, because that's always a bit of it. It's always kind of, I do enjoy like jump, going on the morning. You read the news, you see a lot of what's going to be happening for the day, just to kind of see what the day ahead is looking like, in terms of what your investments are going to be doing. It can be a bit addicting though. Like if you watch it too much, then you start to overthink things maybe. But so sometimes it's better. Like, it was interesting, like the last 2 days not being on, I kind of didn't pay much attention. So it was kind of nice actually. So I couldn't tell you what happened yesterday in the market. So it's kind of nice until later on when I finally got home, and then you start to check stuff at night to see what's going to be happening, in the morning, the day ahead, and what's going on. So it can be a bit overwhelming, I guess, but if you enjoy it, I kind of enjoy kind of seeing what's happening, on that way. And let's see what else. So yeah, we're up. It's all rebounded today. So yeah, it's good. Let's just see Tesla, because I've been watching this for, yeah, it's been doing good today. It's down today, but it was down. I guess we can let me just pull it up and share the screen and turn that off. It's like these days that you, it's these days that I have to present the tab here. It's the days you wish you kind of had money, because I've been saying I wanted to get into here for a long time. So yeah, it was down quite substantially this morning. I think down about 7%. And then we're still down a little bit today, but I should have bought some this morning. I guess that should have been the day, but we'll see. I'm interested in this. I'm interested in Tesla, I think, long term, because I know they're working on their like full self driving, and like all the AI around that and everything else. And I know it's not approved to you. I think they're coming up to some hurdles with it could be whatever it is, the Transportation Safety Board, or whoever it would be. Like, there are obviously some hurdles, so it's not ready for like 100%, because they've kind of said, well, eventually we want to have like taxis out there, like self-driving taxis. And I think it's going to happen. I mean, it's not going to be necessarily tomorrow, but I think in the future it's going to happen. And they have the capabilities being built for self-driving. And I'm kind of thinking, like, I mean, you see a lot of I don't know whether you see more Teslas on the road because they're very recognizable, and I mean, I guess they're smart with design because they all look very, very similar. So it's very hard to, I mean, if you know what you're looking at, but it's sometimes hard to know what actual model it is, because they all look very similar from a distance, right? All the S, the 3, the X, and then the what's the Y? They all, the shapes are very similar. So you notice a lot. Like I notice a lot of them on the road, but I think it's just because they look the same, partly. But then you start thinking, well, if they have this full, eventually get this full self-driving and autonomous driving, and I know if you were to order the car, you have to pay extra for that. I think it's I could be wrong. I think the price changes all the time. It's like what, 15? I think it's $15,000. This could be US. I think I read. And you can add that as a software upgrade. And it's always, this is the thing with their models, like it's all built in already, but it's like a software update to be able to buy it, and so you can add it to your car anytime. But then I got thinking, well, eventually, like if it gets, how open are they going to be? Are they going to be very, like, this is what I don't know, and maybe some viewers have some thoughts. Like, if they're kind of like the Apple ecosystem a little bit, like it's very closed. But what happens if eventually this software and AI is licensed to other car manufacturers? I'm going to assume they would probably be other battery powered cars. I could be wrong, but what if they start to license that, and all of a sudden, anybody in a new car that buys a new hybrid from, say, Kia or Hyundai or whoever can buy this software download to run their car autonomously. I know different manufacturers are working on it, but I don't think anybody's really done it as well. What would that do to the share price if all of a sudden every car on the street can have self-driving software download if you wanted to buy it? Just found that interesting. I was kind of thinking of that. So I don't know. I think long term, I think it's interesting. I just haven't pulled any trigger to buy any yet. but I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts and what they think of that. I talk about Tesla a lot for not owning any, but they're yeah, it's just an interesting company. Although, and then Elon's an interesting guy, a little bit quirky, that's for sure. And let's just see, pull up here. And sorry, I always have too many tabs open all the time. And I had another article that I wanted to share. And now I can't find it. Now I can't find it. More coffee, I think I need. More coffee. The problem is the news shifts so much, and if I don't save the tab open, you always lose it. Can't find it. It's gone out of my mind. On another note, with the channel, and we were talking about it a couple of episodes ago, and it was up. I was on Candace's live stream on, could be Sunday, Monday, can't remember the day. Anyways, we're going to be setting up a stream together to do to chat live, and to do we'll talk about our channel, like basically talk about our channels, talk about our YouTube, because I know there's a few followers that have their own channel or thinking of starting their own channel. So as people that have done it for the last year or so, we were going to jump on and kind of talk about our channels, how we grew them, and give some tips and tricks along the way to people that are interested in starting a YouTube channel with whatever topic. And that's the big thing. Because I know there's a few people that do watch the channel, they're not finance related topics by any means, but it's kind of neat to see everybody's different passions coming across in channels. And I know a few people that leave comments all the time. It's different channels, different topics, which is pretty neat to see. There's literally something for everybody, which is pretty awesome. And hopefully there's more people, finance people, and hopefully younger people starting with finance. I always wish you started younger. I wish I had done more with my TFSA, other than having just a simple TFSA savings account, not doing anything for so long. You're just missing out on that opportunity. Had I started earlier, it would have been much better. But the thing with the TFSA is, obviously we were coming through a time of, you think you just didn't pay attention, but you used to have to you just thought you'd have to just put it in a regular savings account. So I never did anything with it, right? And I guess that's one thing with Wealthsimple the last few years has made it a lot simpler to sign up to do your own investing, right? Before, you used to have to go, if you wanted to get a RSP or a TFSA account, you could do a savings account. You could typically set it up, I think, online, more or less. But to do anything with like investments or like RSPs or mutual funds and that kind of stuff, to get them started was so it just felt so daunting, because in order to go and get a RSP account set up at one of the banks, you'd have to call and make an appointment, or go in and then you'd get there and go, oh, I want to start an RSP, or I want to start a TFSA, like in mutual funds or something like that. And then of course the teller's like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not licensed to sell investments, and blah, 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 blah. We'll have to get you to sit down with one of our advisors. So of course, if maybe someone's there, good chance they're probably booked up on an appointment. So you're like, okay, well, let's make an appointment. Then you're waiting, and then you have to go back, and then you have to set up everything, and you have to go through and sign all the paperwork. And it's like going through, and then they're only selling you typically what they want to sell you from their book of investments, and it just seems to take forever. And I know personally, like I had a decent investor, and what always happens, I find with banks and even with investment companies a little bit too, is the good ones that you have and you have a good relationship with, they always seem, they get promoted. Like the good ones always either the good ones move around and they get promoted or they move somewhere else because they're good and they get a better job. And if they're in, if they're in financial institutions, they're moving up the ladder, which is great. But then of course you get thrown someone when they've left. They're like, oh, this person's no longer there. It's you're now working with her, and or him or whoever, and you're like, oh, I like the other person, and you don't always get necessarily the same service. And that's partly why I switched into Wealthsimple. I did have a lot of my investments at my bank, and then the person left, and then I was referred, and I knew somebody that worked for another investment firm separately, and then, which was great, and then she left, so I got someone else, and he was good and whatever, it was fine. And then when I moved, because I moved provinces, I couldn't use the same person because they weren't registered licensed in the other province, and I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just left it. But so I got given someone else, and she was horrible, terrible. She called to do an introduction and said, okay, well, let's set up a time. I'll be sending you an email. We'll set up a time because I've been giving your account, blah, 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 blah. And I don't have a lot of money in it, whatever, but that's probably partly why. And then I'll send you an email. We'll schedule a time. We'll go over everything, make sure everything's fine. Never heard from them ever again. And so I eventually just decided, this is kind of in mid 2020, when I decided and found Wealthsimple, right? And I thought, okay, I can transfer my investments over. I have a RSP and a locked in account. And I thought, I looked at what I really looked at was the fees they were charging, because I'm like, I'm not getting any service over here. I know what I want to invest in, so I'll transfer it over. The transfer was super seamless. It took about a week to get the actual funds, showing up into the invest side, but it was seamless. So, and then basically I had to, because you have to electronically sign a form to be able to pull out one registered investment to the other. And they didn't even call me when I was trying to get my money out. That was it. I had to call them to authorize it. And she's just like, okay. And then that was it. So it's like, okay, well, your loss. And then I've moved over. So good morning. Everybody's sleeping in today. Good morning, Jason. Welcome. I'm rambling on about my switch to Wealthsimple with my investments, and it was very smooth. So if anybody has different investments in other places and they're not happy about it, I mean, look at it. You're obviously doing some more work yourself, because you're not dealing as much with a person. You can, like, when you're talking to, you can schedule calls and stuff at Wealthsimple to talk to advisors there, but people do move around there too. It's like any other financial company. People will move around, but they've been pretty good to me. I just like because it's a lot of self-serve, and you can make your own decisions a lot without having to schedule stuff with people. If you want to make any changes to, like, for example, in my invest side, about a while ago, I got, like, I'm at the minimum for bonds, because I'm like, they're not doing it. And of course, that was probably one of the best decisions I made, looking back, not getting into any as the minimum amount of bonds in my portfolio as possible. So it's kind of lessened the below on some of those investments, and they've been good. So Jason, did you buy? We were talking earlier. I don't know how long you've been tuning in. We've been talking about buying the bit of a Tesla dip today, maybe, but I haven't yet. It was good. So everybody's still waking up, and Jason, yeah, he's got his cup there, cup of coffee. But I still do like the Wealthsimple Invest side. It makes it simple. I just have the auto deposit going into my RSP. It's pretty simple, straightforward, and I don't have to think. You don't have to think about where it's going to go each time you make a deposit. You don't have to decide, which is kind of nice sometimes. Takes the emotion and overthinking out of it for sure, and does it that way. Yeah. And we are having some. I'm just popped up on my my terrible investment. CMC is up 10% today, but it's such big swings on that stupid thing. There we go. VFE US, yeah. VFE must have some. I have to look at the holdings in there. I haven't looked at it for a long time. It does kind of cover all the bases for the most part on there. The Vanguard site drives me crazy. It pops up like something every time you go and try and log in, and you want to see, and it's like hard to find it's really hard to find. Yeah, it does have Tesla. Let's just pull this up. Let me share. Let's share BFE. Let's go. So you have to scroll way down to find the holdings. Tesla. There we go. Apple. It's big on Apple. Tesla 2.3. Yeah. So I guess I do own some Tesla. There we go. Yeah. That's why I have VDY. That's a lot of Canadian financials in there. And that's probably why I haven't bought them individually, because it kind of covers it covers them all. Makes things easier to manage. Just getting one instead of having to allocate in different places, or choose one or the other. Yeah. But the Canadian banks seem to always do well. And the dividends have been decent lately on VDY. I'm guessing that's partly because of the oil going forward. But just never enough money to buy. You want to start, if you'd go broke trying to buy something every day. It's almost like it's kind of like gambling a little bit when you're putting money in and buying stuff. They make it addictive. Looking at the app, I guess that's part of it. But yeah, they are decent. It's nice to get that. It's nice to get that email, Jason, when you see you're like, oh, got money. It's kind of nice to see coming in, especially when you have a few of them that are paying dividends at different times. So you have every couple weeks, something comes through and you're like, oh, I made some extra money that I wouldn't have made. But then you look at the price of the stock and it's down too. But just keep rolling in the dividends is the thing. XE, hey Zach, welcome. I think it's your first time commenting. Welcome to the channel. We're just jumping in. I know you've commented on the channel videos before, but welcome XEQT. That's hold on. I can never remember. Oh yeah, that's right. iShares core equity. Yeah. Probably, I'm going to guess similar similar, let's pull this up, probably similar holdings than some of the iShares. In some ways it's hard to find these when you're searching for them. There it is. Oops, I just had it and I lost it. One sec here. Let's pull up holdings. Oh, okay. Is this, let's pull this in. So it's a ETF of ETFs. Yeah. So is it, so it's got the S&P, US stock, TSX. Oh, okay. 2 a day is the target. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's got some emerging markets in there too, European. Huh. Oh, so it's financials. Okay. So it's heavily, yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. That might be one to look at. I'm going to add that one, Zach, to my, I'm going to add that to my, my watch list just to kind of keep an eye on it. That's doable in terms of, I mean, 2 a day might not be doable for everybody, but that's a good goal. You could even try and do one. Can you buy fractional shares of that, Zach? Maybe. But 2 a day of the target, that's a hefty target to do every day. But that's awesome. But 20, it's what, trading at 20, I think $23 today. So I guess that's, I mean, if you're budgeting, right, and that's what, if you have an X amount of dollars that you usually put in a month, that's a good way to do it. Try and buy one a day. Just log in and buy one a day. I don't think you can set up auto buys yet on Wealthsimple. You can set up deposits, but on the trade you can't do auto purchases yet. They should really have that, but I guess maybe it's different with TFSA accounts or registered. I guess they want to make sure that you're not over, I don't know, there must be a reason why they don't have that at this point to do auto buys on there other than auto deposits. But I should really start to do the auto deposit, and then it's done. I think in the new year, I kind of once a year go through everything and really make sure I'm set with how I want to have it set up. So that's probably what I'll do for the new year, is double check and see if what I'll do is I'll look back at what I've actually put in per month, how that went, and then kind of budget it. And then if I can adjust it to do a monthly, or a weekly deposit instead, I might do something like that. The big thing for me is my car is almost paid off. It'll be finished in beginning of February, and that's when I'm going to start to, instead of paying that, because I'm not paying it anymore, I'm going to start to put that into my into some investments for sure, because I'm used to paying it. So I'm like, I might as well just put it into something. So I'll probably have a bit go into my TFSA, but then I do have lots of room in my RSP still. So probably start to put a little bit of that in my RSP. That's kind of the goal. But I should get better at doing regular purchases, especially in my TFSA. I kind of do it on paydays, but obviously if I could break that up and just even have cash in the account to be able to do daily purchases would definitely dollar cost average a lot better too. And I don't have to time anything really, just to buy it. But that's awesome, Zach. One thing with the Wealthsimple too, I should look into, because now that they're going to be starting to charge with credit cards. I use Shakepay, so it's like a prepaid Visa, but the Wealthsimple card is also much like a prepaid Visa, and you can do the cash back that can go into you can put that cash back into your have it go into your account, or obviously into your whatever account you want. You can choose. I don't know if it puts it into TFSA or RSP. I think it can only go into your unregistered, just because of they don't want it to get a cashback to bring you over if you're over the threshold for whatever reason. But there's no reason why you couldn't get it put it into your cash, into your unregistered account, and then I think transfer it over is the best thing to do that way. I think that's how they do it. I think you can put it into crypto, or you can put it into unregistered. And I might start to do that a little bit, because right now, like with Shakepay, they give you 2%. Let me just see here. It's 2. I have to double check to see how often it goes. You get on the card, you get 2% cash back, but it's only up to a certain level, and I'm almost up to that level because I use it for my daily spending and stuff like that. And I've had it for almost, like, I've been going for like a year almost. And I think it goes down to, if I'm not mistaken, it goes down to, like, after you spend this X amount of dollars, it goes down to 1%. So what I'll probably do is switch it to do Wealthsimple, because Wealthsimple will give 2%, and I can tap the card the same way, fill it up the same way, and do it that way. Although that being said, with Shakepay now, they're rolling this out. They're starting to pay you on your cash balance interest, but interest back in paid weekly in Bitcoin, which is kind of interesting. So if you carry a balance up to, if you have it, like, I usually just transfer as needed, like a couple $100, and I just use it for my daily spending if I need to get gas or pick up coffee or whatever. But they're now going to be paying interest back in Bitcoin. And right now they're doing the rollout. So right now it's paying 7%. So I might actually transfer some funds over there, just let it sit there. Up to $1,000. I wish I had an extra $1,000 to throw in there, but they'll pay you 7% for the first 3 months. Then I think it goes down to, I could be mistaken, I think it goes down to 4%, which is still decent if you're just holding cash, and they don't do anything with the money. It's just sitting in your account. So it's not like they're going to loan it out or do anything funky with it. So you'll always have kind of access to it, and it'll just sit in your cash account and earn cash back in interest in Bitcoin, which is kind of interesting. So if you had a savings account, what are they paying? 2%. You might as well maybe get some Bitcoin. You could always just sell it and cash it. Do it that way if you're not wanting to hold Bitcoin. But if you're chasing some interest, it's not a bad way to do. So I'll probably top that up because I have it for 3 months. And they're also going to be releasing with Shakepay. The biggest thing with Shakepay is that there's no physical card. You don't actually get the number right yet. So you can't use it for online shopping and that kind of stuff. But they are changing that, and they're slowly rolling out the physical. I don't know if they're going to send actual physical cards, but they're going to give you the number of the card so you can use it for their purchases and stuff online, which is great. And from what I understand too, is because it's a prepaid, there's no extra. As of now, I don't think there's an extra fee, because I know they're rolling out these fees for credit cards. I don't think there's an extra fee charged because it's not an actual credit card. It's like a prepaid one. So I think that works differently. I could be mistaken on how that works. If anybody knows, let me know. But from what I kind of understand, the prepaid cards won't be charged the same as a credit card, but could be completely wrong. But just kind of interesting. Just kind of ways to. What I find is nice with the prepaid is you pay more attention to what you're spending your money on, because you have to fill it up. Whereas if you're just using a regular credit card all the time, you just charge, and then if you get your monthly bill and you're like. Whereas if you have the prepaid, you know exactly how much is in there. You know exactly how much the balance is going down. It seems to work. I find you seem to not spend as frivolously on stuff when you're actually paying attention to the amount that comes in. There we go. So before we always kind of end this around 9 o'clock. So 15 minutes ago, thanks to everybody that's joining in. If you're watching right now and you haven't hit, I always like to say this, hit the like button, hit thumbs up. It always helps the channel out. Much appreciated. If you haven't done that already, just take a look, hit that like. Thanks for spending the morning, your morning coffee before the day starts. It's always kind of fun. If anybody has any last little comments or questions, now's the time to get them in before we sign off. If you are watching this in the replay and you made it this far, we go on every day, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. And what I've been better at is actually posting it on the channel beforehand. So you can always go to the channel, I'll have the video posted up the day before, and hit the reminder, and you'll get reminded when it does go live. Everybody seems to sleep in a little bit. We always seem to pick up more people towards the end of the stream, but that's always okay as well. So there we go. One last question, is Zach, if you're still watching, did you buy your 2 XEQ today yet? I guess that would be a question for that one. I always enjoy the stream because somebody always pops on and makes a mention of a new ETF or a new share to look at and research and take a look at. I should look and see. I haven't done a lot of digging into on the invest side, like the Wealthsimple invest side it's all ETFs. I should really take a look and see where everything is. I glance at it. Like I know one of the big ones there is the VTI. It's the Vanguard Total Stock Index is a big one in their portfolios, but they do have some other ones as well. I should really dig in there and see where everything is. But you're not as much in control of that one where they invest. You can't choose. You can't choose individual ETFs or individual stocks by any means. So you're kind of set with what they do and what they charge. There we go. Yeah. Let's take one last look if any news has popped up before we have a decent green day today. So that's always nice to see. Hopefully we can continue. We've actually been doing not too bad the last little while, considering everything that's going on. I don't know. I don't know if is the bottom in. I don't know about that, but it hasn't been terrible by any means. I think it's just right now perfect time. Do what Zach's doing. Dollar cost average, slow and steady wins the race, I think, and hopefully the worst is behind us. I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Anything could change. I'm no economist or market expert by any means, but I'm just hoping that I think we'll start to turn around come hopefully the new year. Probably a bit more pain with interest rates for everybody, which is unfortunate. So I think it's a good time to take a look at. We always talk about it. Take a look at your expenses. See where you can cut corners a little bit and maybe put a bit more into maybe purchasing something to hold. For investing for the long term, because I think in the next 5 years, as we get all through this, hopefully we'll be I think in a couple years time, we'll be looking back at our portfolios and going like, that was probably the best time to double down and try and build our portfolios. I think is now. That's kind of how I'm thinking it. I'm taking it more of an opportunity and just slowly building on the positions that I do have. So coming at the end here, guys, I just want to say thanks if you're still here watching. Thanks so much for watching. My phone is already buzzing to start work. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, so that's, I guess, a good sign. Work is hopefully going to be. It's been busy the last little bit, so that's always good. That means still making money to be able to invest in the portfolio, which is awesome. So since that has rang and it's my boss, I better probably call them back. So we'll end the stream a little bit early today. We almost made an hour, but so just want to thank you for joining on. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll post it on the channel. I will post the replay if you want to catch the beginning. If you're just tuning in now, the replay will be up on the channel once YouTube does its processing. So you can always catch the replays on there. I know a lot of people do catch them and watch them later. Definitely really appreciated when people are watching live, watching and rewatching the videos. The whole goal of the channel eventually is we're not making money yet on the channel. A lot of people think as soon as you get 1,000 subscribers, you make money. But those ads you see, if you're seeing any ads that roll before my videos, I'm not making, not monetized yet. So every view helps. What I do need to do on the channel is have more watch time. So that's that's the next hurdle on the live stream. We'll talk about that a little bit when Candace comes on the show. We can always talk about what the thresholds are and everything else to do. So, but it's definitely appreciated when everybody joins on. And thanks for listening. I can always ramble a little bit. Everybody's quiet today in the comments, which is okay. I think everybody's maybe I don't know. It's getting towards the end of the week, so maybe it's maybe it's that, or maybe it's because I haven't been on for a while, so they don't have much to talk about yet. But we'll see. But it is appreciated. We always get the regulars coming through, and I do appreciate everybody that watches the channel and jumps on to watches the old videos and all the new members. So as we leave, just remember, hit the thumbs up. It sounds so cheesy to say that, but it does really help out. It helps out the channel, helps it getting out there. If you aren't subscribed, just double check that you are subscribed to the channel. That always helps as well. And if you know anybody that is kind of into investing and into the style of investing that we do on the channel, share the channel with them, invite them over, let them know about the live stream. If they're not into live streaming, they can always check out the regular videos on the channel. Some people just watch those instead, so that's okay too. It'd be great to have the more the merrier. I think the more people we have joining us on the live streams, the better we can learn. I know I've learned a lot. I always seem to learn something. I always seem to find a new stock or a new ETF to kind of look at, which I do enjoy. I don't always go and buy them, but it's nice to see other things to compare them to what I do have, to maybe see some opportunity there. So hopefully you are learning a few things too. That's it, everybody. We'll leave it at that. We made it basically 9 o'clock. I'm going to get to work now. My coffee is empty. I'm going to fill up my coffee. Go grab a coffee. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow at the live stream. Take care, everybody.